The galaxy is burning. Brother fights brother, and treason splits the Imperium of Man. This is the Age of Darkness. Whether you're a warrior of the Legiones Astartes, an adept of the Mechanicum, or just a mere mortal in a universe of madness, you'll find a place here. Welcome to the Remembrancer's Retreat, coming to you from within the depths of the Vengeful Spirit.
He's drunk with power.
Yeah. Weren't hugged enough as children, whatever.
Or maybe hugged too much?
That's a possibility, too.
Definitely not.
Ow. All right, well, that project's anointed in blood now. Thanks.
Anointed in blood. Hello again, welcome to the Remembrancer's Retreat, a Horus Heresy Warhammer 30k podcast. This is part 2 of Psyarkana. I'm joined today by Stephen and Austin. Stephen is putting together his Adeptus Titanicus console with little nails.
Terminal,
excuse me.
I'm stealing the idea straight from Austin, who magnetized all of his nail heads and put them in the holes.
Yep, so if you hear the errant clipping of nails
or a startled
worry.
scream,
Oh, no!
that's because the nail has broken off and embedded itself into a person.
And
If you hear repeated pummeling after a short yelp, that means it hit my dog and I'm killing Steven.
Wouldn't that be a yelp before the pummeling?
Maybe I just want to...
I totally was about to.
I just cast precog, man. I just know.
Okay.
All right, so if you guys were so just super on the edge of your seat from last episode,
And you should be.
yeah, continue
Psyarkana are spooky things.
continue to stay on the edge of that seat because we're about halfway through.
Do not go any closer to the edge of the seat. You might fall off. This has been the Remembrancer's Retreat safety
Swear to God,
briefing. It's fine.
Steven just snipping nails. I'm just expecting something just fly into somebody's eye right now. So this is going to be an interesting episode, guys. We are
Living life dangerously.
Yes. Yep. Nobody's wearing safety glasses.
False.
Safety. That's not safety glasses.
Those aren't rated.
I didn't have
Where are
to
your
wear...
side shields?
I didn't have to wear them on the range or in high school science lab. They count.
Okay, fair enough. I am not wearing safety glasses. Steven's not, and
And I am beside Steven, though, so it will hit right in there. You know it will.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Warp guided. It's fine.
The natural power of Fenris will protect me.
All right. We've stalled enough. We've stalled 2.5 minutes so far. Okay.
Haha, 58 to go.
Psyarkana. Christ. Transvectic generators.
Would you like me to read it this time?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. We're going to have you.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I fucked up, listeners.
Never volunteer
Take that
for
book.
anything.
Go for it. You got the glasses, like you said. The
I
safety
gotta-
glasses.
God, now I got to move my wine. Jesus.
30% of all podcasters are closet alcoholics.
You got
That
nothing.
number is woefully low.
I was being generous.
There you go. There we go. Oh, hang on. Hang on.
A
Give us some
true
room there.
gentleman will be able to read and hold his glass of wine.
And indeed, I will.
And so, okay, there you go. This is riveting.
Riveting?
So
Aha.
I believe
the nail.
the first thing we're at is terminal lucidity injectors. No?
Far left. This page is starting at this page. Transvectic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Well, something for you to look forward to.
Spoilers.
Transvectic generators. Various relics have been classified as or produced to be transvectic generators, whether they act through esoteric means, such as the so-called warp flasks or athames of the 17th Legion, or by technological means, such as the atherbaric plow and imperial split piston held in the status vaults of the phalanx. Regardless of the means by which these items function, they all act to create short-range, stable tunnel through the unreality of the warp, by which a being no larger than a legionary might traverse battlefield terrain or bypass fortifications entirely, relocating from one place to another in the blink of an eye via a warp conduit. However, such casual dalliance with the powers of the warp is not undertaken without considerable risk, and the surrounding field created by a transvetic portal into the immaterium can quickly become unstable and drag the user and others nearby permanently into unreality.
No biggie.
It's fine.
So, this is for Librarians, Esoterists, Moritat, Diabolus, or Saboteur console,
Diabolist? All right, I like it.
who is not equipped with a jump pack, bike, or jet bike. You can take this for 25 points.
Okay.
So, a model with a transvectic generator may not join any other unit.
Boo.
And it allows the model to relocate through the warp up to 18 inches in any direction in lieu of moving in the movement phase, ignoring intervening models and terrain.
And this is not once per game, right?
Nope, that's the way the world works now.
So what's the bad stuff? There's got to be a catch.
So, for all intents and purposes, the model is moved as if using a jump pack, and this move has no effect on the model in further phases. Whenever you use it, you must roll a d6. On a roll of 1,
Here we go.
they immediately suffer the dragged into the warp result on the perils of the warp table, and any units within 3 inches of the model's starting location also suffer d6 strength 6 AP 1 hits.
Starting location, so you can't just dive bomb this guy.
For the purposes of wound allocation, assume the attack is coming from the model which suffered perils of the warp.
Oh, no.
That's just on a 1.
That's on a 1.
Nobody rolls a 1.
It never happens.
Never.
It's a 1 in 6 chance. So really, it'll only happen the last turn of the game, right? That's how statistics work.
Yeah, so 18 inches. Is there anything else to that?
No, it's just you get a free 18-inch disappear and reappear.
That's pretty sexy.
In lieu of moving in the movement phase. So I
In
assume
lieu of moving.
yes. So I assume this means you can't use it if you're locked in combat. Is that the vibe I'm getting?
Yeah, I mean, you can't move.
Because you can't
in the
move in
phase.
the,
But also, in lieu of moving, does that also mean if you, like, who can take this?
Librarian, Esoterist, Moritat, Diabolist, or Saboteur console.
Okay, so the Saboteur, he has a heavy weapon, right?
No. He's just he's the Alpha Legion guy that can sabotage stuff.
Okay, so none of those have heavy weapons, though, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I was thinking, because it said in lieu of moving, so just pop in and just shoot as normal.
Can you
Yeah,
give
but I don't think
somebody
anyone's got a heavy weapon. Does anyone have a heavy weapon that can take that?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, yeah.
But thought if you give somebody an Inferno pistol and you just moving at 18 inches, and this is like you can still run after you do this.
Yeah.
Like, they're a speedy little fucker.
Here's what I like. Diabolist. Give the Diabolist Burning Lore. Make him a Psyker. Roll your powers on Malefic Demonology.
Get summoning.
Get Summoning. You have a 30-inch threat range for dropping demons.
Which you can make
Ruinstorm demons.
Ruinstorm demons. So you get 10 of the lessers. You get that one emanation. You give them have one attack, double your strength, sunder.
Yep.
And,
That's 10 Power Fists coming at you.
Well, it's strength 8.
That's still a Power Fist.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
Marine
give them,
equivalents. Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
give
Or
them,
any
give them
other
Warp
horrible
Scions.
thing.
Give
Yeah.
them Warp Scions and give them Psychic Shriek.
Can't give them Warp Scions because you can't give them an Etheric Dominion.
Yeah, that's true. Womp womp.
You would have known that if you listened to the last podcast.
2 podcasts ago.
2 podcasts. I lost track.
We're totally not recording 2 in the same time.
Nope.
Yeah, that would be madness.
We're definitely
Hubris.
we're definitely not milking this for our own benefit.
But yeah, that's a good point. That's rude. I was just thinking, man, you can give them like an Inferno pistol or something and teleport around and fuck up all the tanks. But
Yeah. I mean, now the Diabolus is relatively safe from being close enough to summon to actually be a threat, while still being, he can hang out outside of retaliation range.
or you can jump somebody, because you're going
18
faster
inches.
than a regular infantryman.
It's true.
That's like jet bike speed, isn't it? Or the Eldar jet bike.
I mean,
Back in the
it's
70s.
shenanigans.
Yeah.
You can give, your librarian has Psychic Streak or something. You can get him up close and like nuke that militia artillery that's hiding in the back or something.
Yep. Fuck those guys.
I mean, he can't join a squad, which is a downer.
True.
No, but not necessarily being able to join a
18-inch
squad.
bubble, just go hide in a corner.
Yeah,
like every
he's
movement phase, hide in a corner. You don't care about difficult terrain.
How much was this?
25 points.
25 points.
He's a weak vehicle assassin. Give him a power maul and just zip around and charge vehicles and whack him in the back with strength.
I was thinking,
6.
yeah.
Or melt a bomb.
Give him a fist.
Yeah.
Would you give him that? Because a Mortat can also take it, but
Yeah.
Mortat with a jetpack. Like, would you rather take that, a Mortat with this, or Mortat with a jetpack?
Your Moritat's days are numbered anyway. You may as well take the
How much is
1
the
in 6
jetpack?
chance of murdering
The
him.
jetpack for the deep strike, I would imagine.
How many points is it?
Oh, probably less than 25. I'm not sure.
Jump packs are 20, 15?
I want to say 15. I could be wrong.
I think I would, if it's 15,
It's
I think I would pay the 10 points more.
Think so?
Yeah, he's not riding around with a squad anyway. Unless he
Unless
put him
it's
with
destroyers. Which at that point, you're not going to be able to take this anyway either.
Right.
So yeah, I think that this one is solidly in the mid-range. You know, it's cool. I think it's a lot of fun. There's a chance it'll blow up in your face immediately.
Yeah, rolling that one's going to be devastating. But just like, you know.
But for all of you former 7th edition Goblin players out there who are used to a 1 in 6 chance of everything going to shit, this is great.
Or a Renegades and Heretics player.
Yeah. No,
Hey.
I like this one a lot. It's solid.
Yeah,
a
it's
jump
cool.
pack is 20 points.
Oh, yeah, 5 more points, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Like, because what, you deep strike in, you can still scatter, there's all sorts of bad things that can happen.
This way, you just put him down to the edge of your field, and
It seems like
Yeah,
a very
deployment
effective
zone.
way to hunt vulnerable targets like militia artillery, backfield vehicles.
and the clench factor of rolling for scatter is not there either.
It's true, yeah. You just
Yeah, it's just
zip
the
up
1
there.
in 6
You're
chance
just
that
you're a
everything
mini
goes wrong.
Mortarion is what you are.
Yeah, I like it. I like
Okay, cool.
it. So next on the list is
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Stephen has come.
The nails are not flying anywhere. He's just on the table, and they're okay, but the sound is just scary.
Yeah.
Live in fear.
Okay, sorry. go ahead.
So next on the list is the Etherkind projectors. These immaterially charged weapons allow a telekind to project their psychic might in the form of focused bolts of etheric force. Such potent devices are re-engineered from ancient artifacts recovered early in the Great Crusade by the Ninth Legion. Ninth Legion. Sorry, got a little dyslexic with my Roman numerals. They were discovered to be held by only a single feudal community living within the ruins of once grand buildings of Chaskar IV, a world left largely barren and blackened, having never recovered from the brutal civil war between the Fanat's former Psyker overlords and non-Psyker peasant classes centuries before.
Blunt peasants.
So any praetor who is a psyker or a librarian or esoterist consul in an army may take an Etherkind projector for 25 points.
Oh, this is yes, I love this thing. Go ahead.
So it's a witchfire psychic power, which is automatically known by the bearer. Instead of attempting to manifest this power normally, simply allocate the appropriate number of dice from the controlling player's warp charge pool during the psychic phase towards this power. An Etherkind projector has 3 firing profiles based on the number of warp charge points allocated, and once the weapon is fired, the warp charge is spent. So this is not actually casting a power. The enemy cannot deny it. This is just the thing that
You're
happens.
literally loading your psychic gun with warp charges.
So for 2 warp charges, it's 12-inch range, strength 3, AP 2, assault 2, ether kinetic feedback, and we'll get to that in a second. For 3 warp charges, it becomes range 18, strength 5, AP 2, assault 3, and for 4 warp charges, 24-inch range, strength 7, AP 2, and assault 4.
I love it.
Ooh.
Yeah, and for 4 warp charges, like that's the
If you got-
equivalent of
that's the same that you
the
get.
equivalent of casting like a level 2 warp charge
Yeah,
power thing,
yeah, give or take.
which is kind of the low end of acceptable for the most part. So what, Iron Arms 2? Or is Iron Arms?
Iron Arms 2.
I don't do psychic shenanigans.
I don't
So there
ever
you
get-
go.
I don't ever
For-
luck out and get
for the
Iron
equivalent
Arms,
of
so-
Iron Arm, per Steven, this is all Steven. For the equivalent of Iron Arm, you can instead get a 24-inch range, strength 7, AP 2, with assault 4, which seems kind of awesome. However, so it's a witchfire. Remember, you have to roll to hit.
That's true, yeah.
And any roll to hit of 1 causes the bearer to suffer perils of the warp.
Ooh, to hit.
To hit. Although it does say any, not every. So 4 ones.
I mean, even
I
still,
feel you're still only doing it once. It's not great.
I don't know any to roll hit in one. Okay, I see what you're saying. I can't tell if that is each or
any roll of a hit Any causes the...
Any
Read it exactly.
So, any roll of 1 to hit causes the bearer to suffer perils of the warp. Is that, if I roll 4 ones, do I suffer 4 perils?
I
or
would
do
say
suffer
yeah,
one?
because it
You would
says
say yes?
any instead of if you roll a 1, or if any one result is a 1.
As opposed to for every roll of 1?
I can see
Yeah.
both sides. I'm kind of leaning towards Steven, though.
I mean, I would
the
I would
odds
like
of an
it
independent
to be.
character rolling more than one in a volley of fire, because they usually have BS5.
I mean, that's just
Well,
missing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You're no better off.
In fact, you're worse off.
Yeah. I mean, I would love it to be, but I think this might be one that we're looking for a GW comment of some sort.
Yeah,
Because I can very easily see people saying either way. I would like it to be every, just because I think Perils of the Warp are hilarious. Because
it's true.
Something good might happen.
yeah,
I love all of these Perils of the Warp chances that might happen, because it just with the new demon rules, I just really want to run Dark Brethren more and more, and especially if my opponents are just increasing their odds of suffering instant death perils. It's great.
Yep. But yeah, so a fun weapon. And how much was that? 30 points, you said?
25 points.
25 points.
25 points. And it's
That's
just
kinda cool.
an extra psychic power
Yeah.
that automatically goes and all
Yeah.
that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. So, yeah, I think it's a fun one. I think we might see that a good amount if somebody's got a Psyker Praetor.
Yeah, although I feel like, depending on what they have as far as their psychic disciplines, the warp charges are probably better spent somewhere else.
But are they? So think about it. Think about the Flexomancer, right?
Yeah.
At 24 inches away,
He's a
like
bad dude.
if you're trying to be a blender powers,
Yeah.
if you're more than 12 inches away, none of those are really any use.
If you're not charging that turn, you might as well just start shooting.
yeah. So
Gotcha.
why
Yeah,
not?
Good point.
You know?
Good point.
Or you generate a shit ton, right? You only have iron. Jesus. You only have iron arm. All right, that'll be 3 or 4 warp charges, and I rolled a 6. I've got. How often do you see somebody be like, well, I've got these 3 extra warp charges? There's really, looking through the list of powers you've got, do I really want to do that?
Yeah.
No more thinking about it. Now you know.
Nice.
All right.
Kai guns. It's the way of the future.
So, back to the thing that we mentioned earlier, the terminal lucidity injectors.
This sounds dangerous.
Terminal lucidity. Never.
That sounds like just a straight up
sounds-
70s
yeah.
sci-fi book.
It's a really
Something like Philip K. Dick would have.
You're so sane that you died.
This device was discovered by the Dark Angels while destroying a large Xeno city compound on an oxygen-rich death world
Destroyed it good.
whose name has since been purged from Imperial records.
That's how we roll.
Destroyed super good. The world was commanded by the planet's tall and lithe masters who lorded over a heavily
The Urkin.
muscled,
I was thinking the
gene-bulked
Caminoans,
slave stock
but yeah.
of
Nah,
barely
you-
humanoid form.
You found the Urkin and you destroyed all of them. Ruled by the tallest.
These creatures were spent as commodities of war against the other compounds of that world, which battled in competition for the planet's scarce mineral resources.
Sounds like we did them a favor.
Yeah, right? They had it coming. This planet's name was Prospero, and it deserved it. The stocky warriors were bonded from birth with subcutaneous collars carved with symbols of esoteric meaning, which siphoned a portion of the wearer's natural psychic energy over the course of their lifespan. At the end of their brutal lives, this life force would be pumped directly back into their souls to send them into a death-induced fury of vitality. Hot damn.
Talk about blaze of glory. Holy shit.
Any independent character in an army may take a terminal lucidity injector for 20 points.
I can see the Dark Angels. Man, did you see that? That was awesome.
Like, we got to get us some of these.
Hey, Corswain, come here.
When a model bearing a terminal lucidity injector loses its last wound, but before it is removed from play, it does one of the following. If the model loses its last wound in the shooting phase or psychic phase, the model may immediately shoot its ranged weapon or weapons at the unit which removed its last wound, or if that unit is out of range or line of sight, the closest enemy unit, as if it were the controlling player's shooting phase.
Eh.
If he loses his last wound in the fight subphase, the model may make a pile-in move and make a single attack, regardless of whether or not it has already fought in the assault phase in initiative step 1. That's a little disappointing.
Death Sworn Light.
A single attack.
A single attack.
Now, if it could do like all of its attacks.
Yeah, like fought an extra round, I'd be all about it.
Yeah.
20 points.
Yeah, but I mean, that's another Power Fist, Thunderhammer, Paragon Blade.
Yeah, but a single.
Yeah, you're paying 20 points for that though.
I already paid 20 points for the damn hammer.
When you've already lost the combat, probably, because let's face it, if your Praetor is dead, then you're not. You've lost.
Probably
the
bad
combat.
times.
It's not good times, yeah.
No. But it's any independent character.
Any independent character.
But still. Anyway, so shooting, fighting, anything else?
No, that's what happens.
I thought it
And
was
how
one
many
of three
points?
things.
No,
20.
it was one of the following.
One of the following.
Oh, one of the following.
How many points was that?
20 points. Any independent character. 20 is.
No.
Nah,
And also,
hard pass.
I would only taken one of these things, right? Like,
Yeah. No.
no
There's
Aetherkind
better
projectors.
yeah.
There's better stuff out there. I was really
Go
hoping.
get your Praetor killed in order to make use of your 20-point relic.
I was
Slay the Warlord.
really hoping, reading the fluff, that it was something that you were like, hey, those like 10 new recruit Space Marines.
Yeah.
No, guys, this is part of the gene implant process. Don't worry about it. And just like have them go crazy at the end of it. It's a weird, from the fluff perspective, it seems like a weird thing to give to an independent character.
Yeah, I'm not too excited by that one.
Yeah.
To be fair, a lot of these things feel like a weird thing to give to an independent character.
But like this specifically, hey, we saw their slave soldiers had these, like the equivalent of friends on.
Yeah.
Let's give it to our Praetor. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to give this to my Imperial Militia levy.
They already have friends on.
Yeah, but they could do better drugs.
There's always time to do better drugs.
All right, so that's a hard pass. For 20 points, I
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
paid 10.
20 points to kill one Marine after your Warlord dies.
And the thing of it is, like, I'm trying to think of like a fluffy, like where's the fluffy? So obviously you're not taking this if you're trying to win a game.
Emperor's Children.
It sounds like some
I could see
traitor
an
bullshit.
Emperor's Children
It's
character
like
taking
the
it.
spite, like
Like,
hit you
no,
back.
not necessarily like the spite. Just, hey, this is some new drug to try. Oh, it killed me. Oops. A World Eater's character to represent the nails.
Yeah.
That's it mostly.
Traitor stuff.
Yeah, traitor bullshit.
Just traitor things.
So
Come on, Steven. Yeah. Yeah, you liked it.
So moving on, empath bonds.
Bombs or bonds?
Bonds.
With a D.
BONDS.
Interesting.
The empath bond technology was recovered by the Iron Hands and Luna Wolves during the liberation of Genesis II, in which they fought back hordes of unrestrained psychers. You may have noticed Iron Hands seem to be recovering a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, weird technology is kind of their jam.
Yeah, that's true.
1,000 Sons of Archaeotech.
The source of this power was discovered after felling a group of psychers, and it was found that they each shared a fragment of a psychoactive meteorite embedded in their flesh. All of these psychers were eradicated, and with them the knowledge of their bonding methods lost. Only through an extremely complicated etheric process could two fragments of this material be bonded by the artifices of imperial science, effectively forming an inextricable link between two psychers' souls, regardless of the distance between them. This allows the psychers to share their power, drawing upon each other's strength to make them both far stronger than they would have been alone, as well as giving them the ability to transfer a portion of their own vitality to their partner in times of dire need. So it's like promise rings.
Yeah.
That BFF necklace.
Best friends forever.
So, before the game begins, select two independent character models who are psychers, have the Legiones Astartes special rule, and are in the same detachment to form an empathic bond for 15 points per model. Only one pair of psychers may share an empath bond in an army. Why is this not for 30 points? So, for 30 points, you pick two independent characters who are psychers and are space marines in the same detachment and do this thing. So long as both of the selected models, which make up the empath bond, are present on the table, they gain the Eternal Warrior special rule.
Ooh, that's handy.
So Eternal Warrior for 15 points a model is pretty sweet. Additionally, if either model in an empathic bond suffers peril of the warp, both models suffer the same effect on the perils of the warp table.
Oops.
Don't get dragged into the warp.
Nah, but double Super Saiyan.
Double Super Saiyan. If at any point during the game a model in an empathic bond loses a wound other than from perils of the warp, so long as the other model in the empathic bond can draw line of sight to the wounded model, it may attempt to reach into the ether and transfer a wound to itself. So one guy gets shot, the other guy can see him. He can try to do some psychic nonsense to take the wound unto himself. which I like that. So you roll a d6. If the result is 3 or higher, the original model does not suffer the wound, which is instead transferred to and therefore suffered by its partner in the empathic bond.
Interesting.
Once the wound has been transferred, no further attempts to reallocate it can be made. If the result is a 2, the attempt fails and the original model is wounded as normal. If the result is a 1, instead of stealing the pain of their bonded partner, the model absorbs the suffering of the wider battle and loses a wound with no saves of any kind allowed. The original model suffers a wound as normal.
Oops.
So, should one of the models in the empathic bond be slain by any means other than being dragged into the warp, the empathic bond is broken and no further effect on the remaining model. Interesting. So it's 15 points for Eternal Warrior.
That's almost worth it on its own.
30, right? Like you put it on your Praetor, you have like your chaplain or whoever also Eternal Warrioring. That's good.
I mean, that's what I do.
And then, but think about it. So you're in a challenge with the opposing Praetor, right? Fleximancer comes down and smacks somebody, and they just sort of mutually annihilate each other. But the Fleximancer, his buddy in the corner, can draw line of sight and sucks enough wounds out that the guy's still alive. I like it.
That's not terrible. Yeah.
That could go bad, but 1 in 6 chance. Like it's essentially 3. The only downside is you. Well, I guess you could look out, sir. Fail your look out, sir. Then do this. Right?
Yeah. I wonder if the wound that's allocated comes with all of the same effects. Like if a T4 librarian gets hit with a power fist, would normally suffer instant death. His buddy successfully steals the wound. Does the wound going on to his buddy constitute a strength 8 hit?
So I'll read through it again. And we can think about this for a second. So successful.
Not that it would matter if I guess he has Eternal Warrior, but
I guess the AP value. Well, no, you've already suffered it. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. But it is on a 3 or higher, the original model does not suffer the wound. It is instead transferred to and therefore suffered by its partner in the empath bond. And you can't.
Yeah, suffered by, transferred to sounds like it would carry over all the same effects.
Yeah.
Which would still be rough if you got hit by something that causes additional wounds like a Legatine Axe or the Apollonian Spear.
Or instant.
Well, instant death won't matter with Eternal Warrior, but still, stuff like Legatine Axes hurts.
Yeah. On the whole, though, I like this.
Yeah, Eternal Warrior's nice. Again, for 15 points.
Yeah, it's hard to beat.
Yeah. You might get
how many complaints that not enough stuff has Eternal Warrior,
right?
Yeah.
There
granted, independent character named independent characters can't take these yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I think it will be a little rough for people who aren't like Thousand Suns, because you need to have 2 independent character models who are Psychers and or Space Marines.
I mean, Word Bearers can do it. And now we have more.
How often are you taking 2 Psychers in your army right now, Stephen?
Every time.
Every time? All right. Well, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
my Praetor always rolls on Biomancy, and my Chaplain always rolls on Telepathy.
I forgot that your chaplains are all dirty Psychers.
Yeah, yeah. But also consider that now you have more than just librarians. You have esoterists and you have nullificator primes.
That's true.
I
was just thinking, like as a loyalist player, I bring 1 sometimes, and I feel like Space Wolf, like a Rune Priest, is pretty fluffy. But like Imperial Fist don't really care about it. But like the other loyalists, and even other traders, I feel like they generally only bring 1, if anything, or they're Thousand Suns.
Yeah.
So this might be, see a little bit more psychic powers on the loyalist side to get that double Eternal Warrior out there.
Yep.
Pretty sexy.
Exciting.
I mean, I know Jared would probably enjoy a Eternal Warrior Terminator character.
Yeah.
Although you have to consider that most independent characters other than Praetors that you're giving it to only have 2 wounds.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. Like Eternal Warrior is nice and all, but like 2 wounds.
Ether, Rune Armor, Space Wolves, 3 wounds each. We're better than you, and we know it.
Stephen has no rebuttal.
Dumb space furries.
He spent a year not being able to smack off space wolves, and this is the result. He's now...
It did things to me. I'm a changed man.
A shout out to our top tier patrons this week, Alex Self, Chris Mack, and Joe Kirkus. Thank you so much for your support. It helps us keep this show running. And if you'd like to become a patron as well, go over to patreon.com/RR30K podcast.
All right, so the next thing on our list, sacrificial innervation. Not intervention, innervation.
Intervention.
Yeah. Innervation. Brand new words were...
I'm glad you're reading today.
The best words. Big, beautiful words.
That thing.
One of the darkest rites of known esoterica, only the most desperately power-hungry psychers undergo sacrificial innervation. In doing so, they forgo the bonds of humanity and morality to sacrifice a piece of their own soul in pursuit of the deeper knowledge of the warp.
Horcruxes. They're making Horcruxes.
Read every possible fuck-up the Thousand Sons did, not knowing why. They trade the mortal essence. This trade of mortal essence for psychic essence can take many forms, such as ghastly blood rituals, sadistic carnivals of sacrifice, and literal compacts with demons. Again, Thousand Sons.
They didn't know.
Whatever the case, if successful, such a rite leaves the practitioner both greater and lesser than they once were. Though they may gain a new blaze of knowledge and power behind their eyes, their mortal forms are invariably shriveled to husks of their former vitality, or else they are stalked by a beast of the warp, waiting for but a moment of weakness. So, any praetor who's a psyker, a librarian, esoterist, or diabolist console may take this for 20 points.
Give me that diabolist.
You add +1 to their psychic mastery level to a maximum of 4, and may choose to reroll the dice when determining their warp charge pool. That seems super good.
All right.
Yeah.
Steven's looking at me.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
However, they also subtract 1 from their wounds characteristic before the game begins.
Yay, 1 wound diabolist.
Like a hero.
Not worth.
No.
Not
That's
worth.
rough.
And that's especially bad for an esoterist.
Yeah, 20 points seems a little rough for all these 2 wound guys. Like on a praetor, I could kind of see it, though.
No, think of how terrible it is for an esoterist, right? An esoterist only manifests his powers on sanctic demonology, which means he doubles. Any double that he suffers, he perils. Most of the perils come with a wound that just gets suffered.
Yeah.
They lose one of their 2 wounds just by taking it.
You gonna die.
Yeah, sure, you're like now you're a level 2 esoterist. Okay, cool. Reroll your dice. All right, neat. Immediately suffer perils and die in the first turn.
Yeah, having made a bunch of jokes about Thousand Sons while reading this seems like one that the Thousand Sons alone are going to be taking a lot on their praetors. Because they need,
real
like,
good.
they do not want to roll those ones for generating, like, warp charge pool, right?
Well, I mean, I think one of their rights allows them to roll 2 dice and pick anyway.
And you can reroll. Be extra sure. But yeah, it's a little rough for 2 wound models. All right, so we'll call that one a pass. The Digitalis Arcanus. Part ancient cognition device and part psychobiometric interface, the Digitalis Arcanus is a relic of the Dark Age of technology, which requires the arcane attentions of its wearer to function. Under the ministrations of those given to a particular kind of lore, this can be made to swell its owner with power, enhancing their reflexes and tolerance for pain, as well as imparting an unearthly knowing in its bearer's mind. Though the boost is temporary, it can grant a warrior superlative abilities for the duration of a battle, filling them with a heady sense of greatness, which they quickly come to crave after its passing. Repetitive desire for the power of the Digitalis Arcanus comes at a great cost, however, as when the unnatural power ebbs, so too a portion of the user's very soul is sapped away into the device.
Oops.
This seems like fun. 1 librarian, diabolist, or esoteric console and attachment with at least 2 psychic mastery levels can take this for 30 points. I don't know why it specifies 1, because, again, you can only have 1 of these. But there we go. At the beginning of any of their turns, the controlling player may activate the Digitalis Arcanus. This grants the bearer an increase of plus D3 to both their attack and initiative characteristics until the end of the following player turn.
Ooh, Flexomancer just got
Of their
scarier.
following player turn. After the effects have worn off, the bearer's attacks and initiative characteristics are reduced to 1 for the remainder of the game. God damn it, it was so close.
Yikes.
30 points.
I mean, I guess if you have warp speed, then that's 1 turn of superpower, and then every other turn of just casting warp speed on yourself to keep yourself in.
Does that give you extra attacks?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It gives you 3 extra.
3?
Yeah. So like even a withdrawal suffering psyker can still get 4.
I take it back. With that, I mean, provided you roll that ability, right? Like, you still have to get it.
Right.
But if you do have it, then you're right. Because you normally, when you hit the big thing, like, you only get into one fight you really need to win a game, usually. After that...
Typically, it's against
either,
Deathsworn.
Yeah, right? At that point, after that, you're either dead or you're just, like, mopping up things that are sort of chaffy. 30 points, though. That's
a lot to get D3 extra attacks.
Yeah, and initiative.
When you could just pay 25 points for a 1 in 6 chance to get warp speed.
It's true. So, Divining Blades. Weapons of ancient provenance, forged from the unimaginably rare Nightmare Steel. The Divining Blades are relics far beyond mortals' ken to comprehend. It is said of such weapons that they are keen enough to cut unreality and reality both when swung, that their subtle edges, which lie beyond both of those dimensions, can never be blunted, and that they have an oscillating frequency in synchronicity with the turning of the universe itself. Charged with
fucking metal.
Right? Like, Nightmare Steel already sounds like a bad Norwegian rock band. Like, we're all over it.
Or a good one.
Charged with untold etheric power, a divining blade can locate and sever the true essence of a demon within the warp if it passes into proximity with its edge.
No.
And thus, these artifacts inspire a primal terror in demons which behold them. That's kind of cool. Here I am, walking along in the material universe, my blade just flensing random demons in the immaterium.
This better be a pretty sweet war gear.
Yeah, one model in the army may exchange their Paragon blade to a Divining blade for 30 points.
Whew.
So that's a lot.
That's a 45-point weapon.
We'll see if it's worth it. It is a melee weapon, naturally. Strength +2, AP 1. Melee, instant death, mastercrafted, Psylash, 2-handed.
Holy shit!
And again,
what's up, Dark Angels? Weren't you just complaining about how?
And again, Psylash. If a weapon with this special rule causes an unsaved wound on a model who is a demon or a psyker at all, then one randomly selected model in the unit with the special rule suffers peril of the warp in addition to any other damage.
All right, can you read the weapon type again?
It is melee. Strength +2, AP 1, melee, instant death, mastercrafted, Psylash, 2-handed.
Damn.
You're striking with that at initiative.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Holy shit.
Oh, yeah,
There's no unwieldy to that or nothing.
And
I mean, you have to...
Psylash is just fucking icing on the cake, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
It's instant death, and P.S., like, the one guy that survived, just perils.
Well, okay, so before everybody gets all...
I will say...
All right. No. Steven's about to be a downer. Let's...
Yeah, before everyone gets all super keen on divining blades, bear in mind that, sure, you're hitting at initiative and you're hitting really hard, but most of the big units that you're going to be using that against, like Samus, Korax, Greater Demons,
Eternal Warrior.
Archdemons...
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, yes, Samus has Eternal Warrior. Demon Lords don't. Big, huge, like, Gribblies out of the Demon list don't.
Demon Lords do. The regular Greater Demons don't.
But they have higher initiative.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
No, they don't.
Demon Lords?
They're like initiative 4. Wait, we can check this.
Yeah, we can check this.
I'm not using this on just demons, dude.
That's true.
No,
it is instant death against everybody.
This is a solid bring it and fuck up everyone's day.
I am very happy because the rules for this weapon have lived up to the fluff text.
It's true.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a Dark Angel's weapon.
Yeah, that thing is sexy.
Turns out they put Dark Angel's rules in Book 8 after all.
Right?
Why are you have Malevolence right in front of you. Why are you trying to
to the left?
I don't know where the list is.
It's just a few pages behind. It's like you're getting there. You're close. Warmer.
And the listeners can hear it. Here it is.
Yeah, greater demons, demon lords.
Ruin Storm, Demon Lord, Initiative 4.
Oh, stabby stab.
It'd be a shame if someone gave him Quicksilver speed.
He
and
does have
boosted his
Eternal
initiative.
He does have Eternal Warrior. However, the greater demons don't. The Chosen don't. Every fucking unit in this army is multi-wound. So I still say this just seems like a good buy. Like it's heavy. It's 45 points is not cheap, but
yeah.
And
you could buy 4 whole tactical Marines for that.
Everything is instant death, right? Not a Paragon Blade. 6s are instant death.
No, it's all instant death. AP1.
Only on Praetors, though. Well, champions.
Yeah,
champions can re-roll their Glorious Intervention and just show up and chop somebody's head off.
But see, let's also think about this. AP1, only vehicles are going to care about that.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Could be a decent Dreadnought smasher.
Hitting at strength 6 versus 13.
That's true.
No, by all means, try and go fight a Dreadnought with that.
It'll do it.
The AP1 is kind of just showing off.
It is style points.
I mean, you're gonna pin like any Rhino chassis vehicle on a 4.
Yeah, true.
Like,
and then you've got AP1, so you're just like cutting the damn thing in half.
Plus,
not to mention horde of sentinels.
Not to mention, when your opponent tells you to take this many strength AP1 wounds, that AP1 is already just
it's
demoralizing.
It's psychological warfare. Yeah. I like it a lot.
It's like it's made of nightmare steel.
Super good.
But yeah, I would say that's the first Psyarkana we've looked at that is universally good against everything.
Yeah, this might be the one. Like, if you're one of those whack guys coming out to Nova to win an event that does not give out prizes for winning all your games.
Yeah, since Malkadors aren't super heavy anymore, I guess you could take a Divining Blade.
It's the Excruciatus weapon for sure.
Yeah. Aw, look at this. This is adorable, this next one. You guys ready for it?
Do it.
Chagorian Dream Plate. That's the word, Dream Plate.
I know it probably means armor, but I still want to think of it as like a little China plate.
I am just assuming.
All I hear is I just see a cloud. That's all.
I'm just assuming that they hang dream catchers off their armor. Like, it's just power armor with little hooks to hang dream catchers off of. So, Dream Plate is a layer of additional protection, as much physical armor as etheric barrier, worn over the warplate of a worthy legionary to guard against the darkest beasts of heaven, i.e., they've attached dream catchers to his power armor.
Look, I read that Stephen King book. I know how this goes.
No, I'm sorry. Each example of the Dream Plate is hand-chiseled, lacquered, and embellished by the storm shields of the White Scars. All right, so it's not a dream catcher.
Boo.
These are then granted to the most stoic heroes amongst their own legion and gifted only to most respected warriors among the other legions. The White Scars' close allies were few during the Great Crusade, and it is for this reason Chagorian Dreamplate is a rare, much prized possession for those few who are blessed to possess it. Though by the time of the Horus Heresy, many of the White Scars' own heroes had died, and their hallowed protection was plundered by whoever could acquire it.
Sounds like that wasn't really great protection.
It's a little rude. Also, so one Praetor, Centurion, or Consul in the army can take this for 10 points. Not bad. It is a little sad that they don't seem to give White Scars a special on this one. Like you get 2 or whatever. So, model equipped with Chagorian Greenplate has a 3-up invul save against any wounds caused by models with the Demon or Demon of the Ruin Storm special rules.
Okay. That's cool. Makes nullificators really good, though.
I was just thinking to myself, like, I don't know. I guess I'll have to see how common demons are to see if this is one that you shove into your all-comers list just because 1 out of 3 games you're going to be fighting demons or not.
Is it Demon or Demon of the Ruin Storm?
Both.
Or both. Okay, so like it's at least an auto take against Word Bearers.
Yeah.
Gal Vorbach.
Yeah, so Gal
Vorbach, or any unit.
You're right.
Yeah, or any unit that just rolls Demon on Dark Channeling.
Yeah.
So almost any army with a Diabolus is probably rocking Dark Channeling on at least 1 or 2 units.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So, and 10 points is not bad for a 3-up invul. Like, that's solid.
Yeah. And again, it becomes practically an auto take on a Nullificator Prime because he rerolls his invuln saves against demons.
Yeah, be straight up Custodes bullshit.
Yep. Welcome back to Shield Captain days.
All right. So next on the list is the Liber Magra Veneficarum. Copies of this ancient grimoire.
You just made that word up.
Yeah, they did. They did make it up.
They literally made it
It's
up.
like this is a work of fiction, Stephen.
No, Warhammer is life.
It's true. Future history. That's 30K.
It's a historical.
Copies of this ancient grimoire, within which is contained text from human and Xenos histories, which entirely contravene any and all tenets of the imperial truth, have been hunted by the elucidators and burned on 1,000 worlds.
Ooh.
It is an evil work, full of the incantations and processes of ritual designed to bring forth the terrors of the depths of the warp. The original tome is thought to have been compiled during the darkness of old night, and is lost, though many ritualist cultures have preserved hand-copied examples of the grimoire throughout the millennia thereafter. Certain desperate and unscrupulous warriors among Horus's armies are thought to have acquired copies during the Age of Darkness, though even they surely knew it was a vile thing which mankind would be best served to forget. So this is new. Any traitor allegiance independent character, which is not a Psyker, demon, or demon of the Ruined Storm, may take this for 25 points.
Okay.
Interesting.
I like it.
The Liber Magra Veneficarum grants the bearer one level of psychic mastery, but they are granted only the incursion malefic demonology power.
Ah, dude, that's good.
That's kind of awesome. Here's this book. Summon you a pile of demons.
And I don't think an incursion is
25 points.
Incursion doesn't summon lessers. Incursion summons like brutes and beasts, I think.
I don't know.
Summons the Moors.
We gonna find out today.
Not the Lessers.
Incursion creates 3 Ruinstorm Demon Beasts or Ruinstorm Demon Brutes.
Yeah, and brutes are pretty tough.
Brutes are pretty tough. They're the Strength 5 Tough to Guy base. I like that. And you know you're going to get it?
Well, the
25
question
points?
is, so it makes them a psyker,
Yep, level 1.
level 1. So they still have to actually cast the power and manifest it, which means if they're not a demon, they're still periling. You might get it off twice.
That's a fair and valid point.
Mm-hmm.
But, I still like it. 25 points isn't a bad price to pay for that, I think.
No.
Like, that's not something, you don't cast it every turn. You
Yeah,
wait
you cast it
until
when
you
it
need
becomes important. Like you need to screen a charge that's about to come, throw up some demon brutes.
Yeah.
Cast it when it counts.
So, I think this is the last one. It is Icon of the Blazing Sun. The symbols of the Emperor, a golden Aquila, a shard of fulgurite, an ornamented Raptora Imperialis, a lightning totem, and the carving of crossed thunderbolts. These are the signs of the Blazing Sun. Holding these relics aloft and invoking his name for some strange and inexplicable reason among those truly loyal creates an aversion to the scions of the warp. The power of his title and symbols are said to be able to protect the faithful from the depredations of the creatures of the warp and from the evil intentions of psychers. However, to call upon his name in vain or to lack true conviction and be found wanting in faith can lead to ever more dire consequences.
All right, so rules is written. The Emperor is a god.
Yeah, that's
it.
Fluff as written.
That's-
there it is.
Lorgar was right. The Emperor was wrong.
Here we go. So, one loyalist allegiance independent character per detachment may take an Icon of the Blazing Sun for plus 30 points.
That's awesome. Take 2 with an allied detachment.
If a traitor
You
allegiance...
take one, though.
Per detachment.
Oh, does it say per detachment?
It specifically says per detachment.
Must have zoned out there for a second.
If a traitor allegiance psyker within 12 inches of the icon successfully attempts to manifest any psychic power in the current psychic phase, the bearer of an Icon of the Blazing Sun may attempt to nullify that power. To do so, the bearer must take a leadership test. If passed, the power does not manifest.
Hey, Austin.
Fuck you.
Nah, listen. Any loyalist, Force Commander.
We can be heroes again. Hot damn.
What is more imperial than some beleaguered militia commander holding up like wrought iron crossed lightning bolts and screaming the Emperor's name and denying warp powers with it?
Deny the shit out of those. This is making it into my list.
I'm a traitor, and that's my favorite
That's amazing.
Psyarkana.
So, if the leadership test is failed, the power is manifested unaffected, and the bearer of an icon of the blazing sun suffers a wound with no saves of any kind allowed.
Gets a little hot. It's fine.
It gets worse.
Of course it does.
If the result of the test was double 6, if you boxcars this, the bearer's faith is found wanting. They are consumed by the power they sought to invoke and are immediately removed from play with no saves of any kind allowed.
Man, not only is the Emperor
The
God,
Emperor
but he's kind of a dick.
That is awesome.
They will be found wanting, and lo, he shall find them.
Yeah. That's super cool, though.
Additionally, any demon or demon of the Ruin Storm is reduced to weapon skill 1 when locked in combat with a model carrying an icon of the blazing sun. Right, so you were saying about my militia not being able to handle demons? Take weapon skill 1 and shove it! Shove it!
All right, so again, how many points and who can take this?
1 Loyalist Allegiance independent character per detachment for 30 points.
Still, though. I mean, your force commanders are what, 9?
8.
Oh, he's 8?
We're not good at this.
I mean, that's not terrible.
It's better than 50-50.
Yeah.
And again, this is one of those that can fuck somebody trying to buff himself.
Yeah, that's definitely worth nullifying. Oh, God. Is it once per phase, or does it at any time?
If a Traitor's Allegiance Psyker within 12 inches of the icon successfully attempts to manifest any psychic power in the current psychic phase.
That's great. They have to succeed first. Then
so if it goes...
Dude.
And reading it, it also doesn't seem to replace deny, just like your regular chance to deny. Yeah. You got to try to deny first.
Sure.
But if that doesn't happen, then you can leadership check.
Pull out Old Faithful.
Yeah. The power of him compels
So again, even though that's really cool for mortals, my thoughts are drawn to the Nullificator Prime, who's basically like he's built for hunting demons. And give him the icon, send him after a big scary demon character who's now reduced to weapon skill 1.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about the units yet, but we'll do a. We haven't talked about the
the Nullificator.
We'll do that. We'll do that next. Do a little mini episode in between so we can catch up. Steven loves that. I love it too. That's why I put it on this soundboard.
It's good. It's real good.
Sorry, I'm not even paying attention. I'm just thinking.
It started as ironic, but now it's kind of...
My glorious militia commander charging forward, striding manfully at the head of his forces.
If you don't
pulling out his
pointing,
icon,
isn't he? His model is him pointing. Yeah. If you don't saw off his hand and give him some sort of icon, then
I'll magnetize.
You need to give him one of those Imperial tank command upgrades. That big giant eagle,
just hanging around his neck like a Flavor Flav.
Or just for the Emperor.
Yep, that'd be good.
DJ Force Commander.
Actually, there's a couple of little Imperial Guard bits that are just small icons of the Guard, and that'd be kind of cool to have like hanging from a chain.
Oh yeah.
And also, just like lightning totems and stuff like that. All those Sigmarines have little nonsense like that.
Yeah.
Maybe you can give him a chest plate, right? So he just rips his shirt open, and there it is.
Yeah.
Superman. Yeah.
Man, I'm getting excited. Like
I
now, I have to make choices, dude.
There are.
I got to make choices now.
You want your divining blades, bro?
I've never wanted to play a Loyalist army until today. That's such a cool relic.
That's my favorite. Hands down is my favorite.
I gotta say, I've had enough of psychic shenanigans for the past few years. I'm going to take that.
It's only going to get worse.
All that karma's about to come back on Jason and I. We've been basically running psychers unopposed for 3 years.
No longer the Emperor protects burns you alive from a very great height.
I mean,
worth it.
If you get burned alive by the Emperor, you won't get eaten by demons.
I am no doubt cursing myself, but I've never rolled boxcars with my force commander before. Not about to now.
What is it they say? Never is the word that God listens for when he wants to have a laugh. And the Emperor is a god.
He is our shield and protector.
Man.
So.
Wild.
Yeah. You said that was 30 points, right?
30 points. A very solid take.
That's fucking
a
worth
very
it.
solid take.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Marines pass their leadership 9 times out of 10, so, like, Leadership 8, that's high enough to pass and deny powers.
That's leadership.
like-
That's comfortable.
And, I'm
be
all
willing to
excited
take
to do
that.
it for militia, but like my Space Wolf Praetor, this is solidly in their fluff bivouac, right? They just don't fucking believe that
Yeah.
that shit's going to work.
Just
and it doesn't
super
work.
hate psychers. Are you denying because you have faith in the Emperor, or do you just hate psychers
Nah, bro,
that much?
I just fucking hate you. And their leadership 10. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, 50-50, when it fails, he blows himself up, but fuck it.
It would be no
totally
more
with
than he deserves. And lo, we would laugh and laugh and laugh.
Indeed.
Is that it?
That's all of them. That's all
That's
of them.
Psyarkana.
Ended on a high note, man.
That's a hell of a one to close on.
Yes, sir.
That is awesome. So yeah, and look at that, 55 minutes. Yeah. So yeah. So your favorites. I'm a big fan of the terror sword.
Yeah, the sword
The
is
scary demon fucker.
made of scary nightmare
Steel.
I like that one, and it's super good. I love it, but it is 45 points, so I don't think it's.
I mean, it's
like
45
OP.
points to insta-win a challenge.
The pentacles.
Every challenge.
You'll insta win a challenge. Well, I mean, if the guy's swinging a Paragon blade back at you, like you still got to live through that. Like, no initiative buff, but
I mean, not if you're
deathing,
not Emperor's children.
Like just throw it into robots and laugh, and laugh.
Laugh and laugh. Yeah, I mean, like an Emperor's child can take that for 45 points and just instant win everything.
Yep. The pentacles that brings Psychers down to initiative 1 or the whole unit.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
I like that.
That's
I
sexy.
liked the etheric bond for the Eternal Warrior. That's a solid one.
Yeah, EW Psychers.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's
there's
cool.
good stuff in there, and
I
not
like
a
the- I
not
like
a
the
whole
warp
lot of
shunt
duds.
thing.
Like there were 3 or 4 that kind of seemed like duds to me.
The Psyker shotgun is pretty cool too.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of fun. If you've got a psyker, just like, oh yeah, I really want to buff Iron Arm, but I'm not in combat, so suck 4, strength 7, AP 2, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Smite but better.
Yeah.
And I just like the idea of him pumping it up like a Nerf gun. Like if there's just
Just a super soaker.
he just sprays down his opponent with a hot psychic flechette.
Very cool. All right, so that will wrap this episode up. Yeah. Any shout outs, Steven?
Again, we have the June game on the 8th at Battlegrounds. Return to Grey Worm. There will be Demon Knights. There will be Psychic Shenanigans. Bring your Psyarkana. It'll be fun.
There you go.
Indeed, it will. I'm going to have a weird shout out tonight.
Sure.
My shout out is going to be for historical games campaign systems. I've been thinking about it. It gets mentioned every once in a while that I'm doing some historical wargaming now.
Mm-hmm.
And those campaign systems are just way better than GWs.
Really?
And they can be ported over pretty easily. So if you guys are wanting to run, a map-based campaign with maneuvering your armies around, instead of just, I go to this hex and attack this hex, maybe ask one of your historical nerd buddies or search the interwebs and find something cool and give it a little tweak.
Yep, and if you think you don't have historical nerd buddies, just casually drop some references to 6mm Civil War and see who's interested. You'll know.
See who perks up.
Yeah, you'll see them.
There's always that guy.
Yep, there's always one. Remember, we are all amateurs compared to historical miniatures people.
I just paint 1,400 models in 3 weeks, so yeah.
Yeah, you've been elevated. We are now amateurs in your
I have
shadow.
ascended.
Yeah. Careful talking like that. You're gonna
As
your
the
lightning
hair
bolt's gonna
goes,
burn
so
you.
the models come.
That honestly doesn't seem like the worst trade. You don't have to pay for haircuts.
True. I'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
I'm still paying for haircuts now. I don't get a discount, sons of bitches, but
For only doing half of your head.
right?
You would think.
Oh, man.
So that's what I got.
Nice. Nova Open 2019 this year. Wednesday night at the Remembrancers Retreat up at the Nova Open Charitable Foundation Lounge. We're going to be running some trivia.
Well, Austin's going to be running some trivia.
Oh, we'll all be there.
It'll be co-hosted. I think
good.
Jesse's going to co-host with me, and then we will have Jason and Dave from Heresy Grad School will be there as well. haven't quite decided if they're going to participate or just be the adjudicators of final correct answer.
You'll find a bunch of us up there.
It's
And
true.
yeah, most of the podcast I think will be up there either participating or just like hanging out.
Or drinking or both.
Oh, everyone will be drinking except for Jason, who does not.
What we should do is
So buy him drinks, and he will perforce be forced to give them to me.
It'd be good.
What we should do is we should get a Remembrancers Retreat bingo card. Just meet every member of the retreat. Find
Why
us.
would you force people to do that?
Yeah, that's...
That's a terrible idea.
Because nerds
Nobody
love,
should meet all
Don't
of us.
stroke your
Because-
ego like that, Steven.
Because nerds
Don't
love
stroke your
If
competition.
you
ego
see
like
Steve
that.
at Nova and you recognize him, say nothing and walk away.
Take a hole puncher and punch him. And
If
his
you make
ego.
eye contact with me, I'll know that you know, and there will be no escape.
Oh, goodness.
No, yeah, because nerds love competition for poorly defined prizes.
And the prizes are poorly defined at this moment.
Speaking of poorly defined prizes,
Yeah.
you've got a prize thing going on.
Yeah, actually, I guess now is as good a time as any to talk about it. For the Remembrancers Retreat's first annual charity drive, what we are going to be doing is a massive bits giveaway. We've probably sourced somewhere in the neighborhood of several thousand bits so far,
Or five.
or five.
Somewhere between 5 and 5,000.
Yeah, anywhere between that. A non-imaginary integer number of bits. And they're all going in a jar.
Or several jars.
Or several jars. There's actually going to be one jar that everybody is going to be competing for. There will be 2 smaller jars as consolation prizes for the second and third place. But the concept is simple. You see the jar. You guess how many bits are in the jar. If your guess is closest to the total number without going over, you win the jar.
Yep. And this jar will be at Battlegrounds in Midlothian, Virginia.
That's true. Yep. I guess I should tell you what the charity that we're actually benefiting is the Second Life childhood cancer charity. It fights childhood cancer, obviously. For $5, you can buy one guess. There will be a link to the page where you can donate, posted very soon. So be on the lookout for that.
Very cool.
There's also going to be a big actual official post coming soon with all the rules and everything. So that will be fun.
Excellent.
If you like bits.
And there are a shit ton of bits. Steven
Yeah.
came through my hoard of bits and just
Clipped away.
clipped away for several hours.
Yeah.
Did not get all of my bits.
Yeah.
It
He
wasn't
still-
over quickly. I did not enjoy it. The whole 9 yards. But yeah, so there's a shit ton of bits from all over.
Yep. It's not
30K,
just,
40K, fantasy.
There's some third-party bits
There's
in
some
there.
third-party bits, mostly GW stuff, but there's some third-party bits in there as well. And the pile is only growing
It's
until we
true.
officially
Yep.
kick it off, which
We just-
might have already happened.
Also, I'd like to say, they're all pre-clipped, too.
they
true.
are all pre-clipped, which
Yep. You won't have to do any clipping. All you will have to do is, well, I'm not going to. Nope, never mind. You won't have to do anything except win.
There you go.
Well, you will have the unenviable task of sorting exactly what you won. But
Help raise some money for charity and get yourself a shit ton of bits.
yeah, it's a lot of bits. I'm not looking forward to counting it.
Nice. Oh, man. All right, so with that, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at RR30K Podcast. Check out our website, rr30k.com. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. And with that, my name is Jesse, Stephen, and with Stephen and Austin, have a good night and keep those dice rolling. You guys can say bye. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go.
yeah, we were waiting for the bell.
Have a good night, everybody.
Adios.
Bye.
For more Horus Heresy goodness, be sure to follow our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at RR30K Podcast. You can also find us at our website, rr30k.com.